Same answer.
Why are you refusing to endorse?
I have not refused to endorse. I've refused to articulate my position, and I will momentarily at some point in advance of early voting.
Well, that was very clear. It's not that I haven't endorsed. I haven't made clear whether I'm endorsing or not. But of course, endorsing a person is an affirmative action. And if you're not doing that, if you're not actively doing the thing, then you haven't endorsed Hakeem Jeffries. But whatever, muddled language aside, the momentarily did come. And although that video was just earlier today, he did actually finally endorsed Zohran Mamdani in the New York mayoral race, putting out a statement to the New York Times. I mean, why do it on video where somebody could quote you? He clearly doesn't want video of him doing it. Anyway, he said in this statement that he acknowledged that the two men had areas of principled disagreement, but he said that Mamdani had won a free and fair Democratic primary and emphasized that the party needed to unite against an existential threat from President Trump. He says Zohran Mamdani has relentlessly focused on addressing the affordability crisis and explicitly committed to being a mayor for all New Yorkers, including those who do not support his candidacy. He added, in that spirit, I support him and the entire citywide Democratic ticket in the general election. And first question is gonna go to you, Nina. Should we just accept that he finally did it? Is it being petty to acknowledge that he undercut it in every possible way in that statement? What do you think?
John, let's be petty, okay? I love me some good petty. First of all, the man's endorsement is irrelevant and it's insignificant. You got about 12 days before the election. You know what happened, John? I'm old enough to remember when neoliberals like him wanted to force progressives. And I think the slogan was vote blue, no matter who. And then you have Assembly member Zohran Mamdani win the Democratic primary, just straight outright. And all of a sudden they want to change the rules. Who needs his endorsement? I would say to Zohran's team, they don't need this man's endorsement. He's just trying to cover his behind at this point. It is half-hearted. And then when he says that Mamdani has convinced him that he wants to be the mayor for all New Yorkers, even those who didn't vote for him. Well, no sugar, Sherlock.
Yeah.
Everybody running for office. You know, when I ran, everybody didn't vote for me. However, once I took that oath of office, I had to serve all. So that's not some big epiphany here. The man, John, you tell me what you think. He might as well have not endorsed as far as I'm concerned. His endorsement means nothing.
Well, hold up, because in this next graphic, Ken Klippenstein put this out. The New York Times says that his support provides a late boost. And the New York Times said, and he clearly needed it. He needed Hakeem Jeffries' support there. Yeah, no, I love your point about the vote blue no matter who. We need maybe somebody who has a better grasp of the English language can tell me this. We need a term for when there's an expression that sounds universal, but in practice is very much not universal. Like I've always said, we have this, they used to talk about political correctness. That sounds like a universal thing that you could apply to anyone. Nope, doesn't apply. If you were to insult Christianity, right wingers would be mad about it, because you were being politically incorrect, but then they would complain that you were requiring them to be politically correct. Like it doesn't actually apply both ways. Vote blue no matter who is the exact same thing. It doesn't mean vote blue no matter who, it means vote establishment even if you don't want to. That's literally all it means.
That's all it means, John. And let us not forget, you know, I gotta bring up, and I know you remember her, and I know she interviewed many times on TYT, Sister India Walton from Buffalo, New York, another example. She won the primary straight up against the incumbent, but they found a way to put the incumbent on another line in Buffalo. And unlike what's happening to Mamdani, they walked her down and they beat her.
They did, yeah.
And not a whole lot of people talk about her. I know Buffalo certainly is not as big as New York, but I want to remind our viewers that we've been down this path before where neoliberals refused to accept that the progressive won the primary and did find other ways to try to thwart their ability to win. What Mamdani has that unfortunately India Walton did not have is, you know, just the wind under his wings, more time. I surmise that he owes a lot of the victory that he is about to have to people like India Walton, to people like Senator Bernie Sanders, to people like Senator Nina Turner and other progressives who went through the fire way before him. So let's not get this twisted. The neoliberals will try every single tact to stop a progressive from winning, and sometimes they are successful. John, would love to know your opinion on this. I think they're not gonna be able to stop him from winning, but I believe that they're gonna try to stop him from governing, or at least gum it up.
Oh, I definitely think they will. And similarly, I was saying for a long time back, during candidate.
Oh, that sounds so good.
I know it did sound so good. Sorry, sometimes I dream live. But anyway, that had he gotten into the presidency, they would have tried. The Democrats would have worked with Republicans to gum it up, and the Supreme Court would have just done it. Like it would have been. But whatever. So what? We still gotta fight. We gotta get the best people in. But they will definitely do that, and their hope will be that we can make it look like a failure, or at least pitch it as a failure, as a cautionary tale against anyone in the future. And by the way, maybe it'll be a failure, maybe. But I would love to actually try it out. And much more importantly than whether I would love that, the people of New York clearly want to give it a try. So the fact that they can't trust these so-called Democrats to actually respect the will of those voters is, I think, ridiculous. To talk about, he's explicitly committed to being a mayor for all New Yorkers. He didn't need to do that. You guys were questioning that. He never gave any reason to believe he would be anything other than that. In fact, I'm gonna flip that around on you. When you guys keep putting forward these people who clearly only care about the interests of the top 1% of New York, they should have to explicitly commit that they're actually gonna represent more than just their wealthy donors. And clearly Cuomo didn't convince enough people that that's what he was going to do. When they're like, well, I guess he won a free and fair Democratic primary. That is the most begrudging BS you can put in there. And we do need to unite against his existential threat. Look, Hakeem Jeffries, I understand you're supposed to be the master of strategy. After all, you're Democratic leadership. I'm just some jackass on YouTube. But like, he's gonna win. You are endorsing him. So if you're gonna do it, at least get some of the benefit of that by not spitting in the face of all the people that support him. The reason that he's so much more popular than even a well-known established figure like Cuomo. It's like you're getting the worst of both worlds. You did it too late, you did it begrudgingly, and you're making it clear to his supporters that you're not learning any lessons from this, and you're damn sure not gonna apply them to any of the other races going forward in the midterms. And so, look, I don't want to go from petty into 100% hostile, but this is almost as bad as not endorsing him at all.
Let's go.
In some way, it might be worse.
Let's go. I mean, let's go there. They go there all the time. I would have more respect for Congressman Hakeem Jeffries had he just looked in the camera and said, you know what, I don't care, New Yorkers, y'all voted, but this ain't my guy, and I'm just not gonna endorse. Yeah. But he hemmed and hawed, he made up all types of excuses. And he was hedging, John. I believe he was hedging to see if Cuomo would pick up some steam so that he could go the other way. But since that did not happen, here he is literally in the 11th hour.
Yeah.
Endorsing Zohran Mamdani. I hope that no New Yorker falls for this and understand what type of leader he is not. And I do understand somebody or a group of somebodies are running against him in 2026. I think some of this is his self-interest so he can just check off a box.
Yeah.
But I hope whoever is running against Hakeem Jeffries, I wish you a lot of luck. Because I could deal with somebody better if they just straight up about they mess. But he's not. So he lacks courage and intestinal fortitude, and he definitely does not believe in the will of the primary voters in New York, because if he did, he would have endorsed him a long time ago.
Yeah, it's so frustrating not only to see them maintain their positions in leadership after 2024, which is like, come on, man. We just got done with the WNBA season. And a couple of the coaches that couldn't make it done, they got fired, okay? One coach got fired, they won the championship last year, but they failed this year, so they fired their coach. It might have been a little bit harsh, but like at least some people are looking for new ideas. The Democrats are like, the Titanic is already sunk. It's now descending deeper and deeper, and they're like, no, not yet. I think still Schumer at this point. Like, what has Schumer gotten us? that we have this loyalty, or that we're supposed to have this loyalty. And by the way, why is it that Mamdani is so much more popular than a corporate Democrat? Why is it that AOC is so much more popular than Chuck Schumer? Why are we not supposed to draw any wider lessons from any of this about what people want? We're definitely not supposed to draw any lessons from what happened in 2024. And we're definitely not supposed to apply any of these lessons to 2026 and especially 2028, when they're hoping Donald Trump maybe won't run again, or maybe will, or maybe his heart will have exploded in his chest or whatever. And then we can just get back to normal Democratic stuff. We slip Gavin Newsom in there. You know what? Maybe we didn't get Cuomo, but we'll get, the California version or whatever. That's what it feels like at this point. And
yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, at their own peril, they refuse to learn a lesson. And in any other industry, somebody like a Hakeem Jeffries or a Chuck Schumer would not maintain their position. I mean, how do we expect the same group of people who got us in this mess to get us out of this mess, especially since they have not learned any single lesson whatsoever? I hope the Democratic voter, the primary voter and the general, but especially the primary voters, that they remember this. The Democratic faithful, John, who are being failed by these people. They could have done a better job when they control both chambers of the United States Congress, and they also controlled the presidency, and they could have wielded power. I don't like 99.9% of the things that President Trump is doing, and I know we're gonna start to talk about some of this other wild stuff, but I tell you what, he using power. And he not making excuses about why he can't use that power. The Democrats had the same opportunity. He could have expanded the court. They could have done away with the filibuster. They could have increased the federal minimum wage from $7.25. They could have passed the John Lewis voting rights. I mean, John, you and I could spend our whole hour together talking about how they could have used raw power to change material conditions, but they did not do that. And now you have somebody running in New York, as you said, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, who is talking about the affordability crisis, the suffering of New Yorkers. And then these people got the pure unadulterated gall to hedge.
100%. There's only one or two other little things I want to mention, just that Eric Adams has endorsed Cuomo as of today, saying New York can't be Europe, folks. Those Islamic extremisms that are burning churches in Nigeria, that are destroying communities in Germany, that have taken over the logical thinking. So that is a direct quote, and that's what I'm fighting for. Because Mamdani, who literally just talks about affordability, he's a Muslim radical, basically Muslim Brotherhood. He's gonna burn down the whole goddamn city. It's absolutely absurd how they can slander these people. But as bad as that is, one of the other things he said, I thought said more about the way he and Cuomo and probably Hakeem Jeffries think about all this. So Adams had previously deemed Cuomo a snake and a liar, but I guess a snake is better than a Muslim, I suppose, before dropping his election campaign. And Adams said, brothers fight, but when families are attacked, brothers come together. Now they want you to believe that that's like when New York is attacked or whatever, we come together, but New York is picked. They don't want you, Eric Adams, and they don't want Cuomo. So that ain't the family. I know what the family is. It's the establishment. It's the donors. When the donors are attacked, the donors paid and bought warriors go out there and they come together and they fight. That's all it is. And they're doing it against Mamdani. They did it against you. Buttigieg dropping out in Super Tuesday. They did it to Bernie, and they're gonna do that. Like, we can't expect that they're just gonna lay down and allow us to take over the party or whatever. But we can acknowledge that that is what they're doing. They have solidarity, but it ain't with us. It ain't with the city. It's not a demographic thing. It is a class thing. It is an ownership thing, and they're being very clear in this case about that. Any final thoughts on this?
Yeah, the ruling class. There are two classes in the United States of America: the ruling class and the working class. It's the rest of us. And yeah, he's answering to his owner donors, just like most politicians do. And your point, John, about the snake being better, yeah, he has chosen a snake. He's not saying that he doesn't believe Cuomo's not a snake anymore. He's just saying, I'm siding with my brother, who happens to be a snake and a liar. His words.
His words, yeah.
His words.
Exactly. Yeah, and I like your point about there's the two classes, the rulers and the ruled. And if you want to know which you're in, soon you'll be able to find out. The ones who get invited to magnificent ballroom are the ruling class, and everyone else is us. That's how it's going to work.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.